Yo, what's going on YouTube, GZTV, mic check 1, 2. We are back with another video, and we are finally back with Dexter. It's been such a long time since we've talked about the show. Last night, yesterday, whatever you want to call it, I watched the third episode of Season 4, so yeah, we're back to our two main series, so let's just talk about it. So Dexter Morgan and his wife are attending a suburban backyard barbecue. You know, they kind of just moved into this neighborhood. They're trying to kind of make friends with their neighbors and bond with them and stuff. So yeah, Rita asked Dexter why he didn't tell her about his concussion when she found out from his doctor. You know, they need to have trust in the relationship. She's trying to establish it. He kind of lied to her, stuff like that. He didn't want her to worry though. You know, Dexter doesn't want her to worry at all. You know, she already has to deal with kids. She already has they already have, work and stuff, and yeah. At the barbecue, there is talk about a neighborhood vandal who has broken a bird bath, knocked over a water fountain, pulled down a basketball hoop, spray painted trash cans, and broken the seahorse off a mailbox. And at first, the suspicions are pointing at this Jesse kid. He's kind of like this rebel, this punky teenage kid. But it turns out it's not him, which is crazy. There's a nice little plot twist to this thing. Elliot Larson pushes Cody into the pool, earning laughs from everyone. Dexter tries to do the same. He does it to his daughter, and of course he gets heat for it. I don't know, that was kind of a weird thing. Inside a dark minivan, the Trinity Killer sits in the backseat while a weeping Tarla Grant drives up to an empty warehouse. This is another one of the Trinity Killer's incidents, one of his killings. He makes her jump off of the warehouse so her family doesn't have to die too. And yeah, they kind of start investigating it throughout the show. Did she kill herself? Did he make her do this? You know, that sort of thing. So in the morning, Dexter goes out to get the newspaper in his pajamas, and he figures out that someone vandalized his gate. So yeah, it's starting to become a problem. Deborah and Anton Briggs are still adjusting to living together. You know, they got to get used to each other's schedule as well. So there's still some relationships kind of coming to fruition in this show. There's a lot of romance in this show right now. So, yeah. Rita is driving Dexter to work while singing along to Karma Chameleon, singing to her son. Yeah, so Dexter can't drive for a week, so... Yeah, at the station, the homicide team is investigating Johnny Rose, the vacation murder. So they're going after all sorts of different cases, vacation murder, Trinity Killer, Tarla Grant, I think her name was, is going to be a whole new development. So, yeah. Angel Batista announces that Tarla Grant has been found dead and appears to be a suicide, so he brings it to the attention of the officers and all that, and the detectives, and they start their work on it. Tarla is sprawled on the concrete in front of the warehouse, and they're trying to figure out, they're using dummies and stuff, and they're like, well, did she jump? Did she just, flat out fall? Did she get shoved off there? What happened? They're kind of trying to figure it out. Masuka drives Dexter home in a monster truck painted blue and detailed with lightning bolts while blasting country music. Man, you gotta love Vince Masuka. Vince Masuka's character is absolutely one of a kind. I love his character. I missed watching him on this show while I was watching other stuff. Obviously we had the rest of Better Call Saul, and we had Outer Banks, but I'm back. I'm glad this show's back. I'm kind of tired, so excuse me if I make some miscues in my English, but yeah. Inside, Dexter finds Rita hosting a neighborhood watch meeting, so they're trying to get to the bottom of this. They're trying to find the neighborhood, the neighborhood vandal, whatever. Andy Brightman strolls over to represent the Neighborhood Beautification Association. Who knows what the hell that means. Everyone is signing up for Neighborhood Watch, so Dexter signs up too. They're taking shifts to kind of patrol and to kind of look out for the neighborhood vandal. And he has a very strong feeling that Jesse did it. There's graffiti on his shoes. He's got soda cans. So he's trying to scare the shit out of him. And good thing he doesn't have a chance to do it, because he wasn't the one who did it. Jesse's not the one. So, the next morning, Dexter is painting over the graffiti on the gate when Astra, on her way to school, rolls her eyes at his offer of a high five. She's a teenager. You can't treat her like a little girl anymore. Astra's character is getting kind of annoying. Like, who the hell acts like that? You know what I mean? No, that's kind of what people of that time saw teenagers as, which is kind of funny. After Rita drives him to work to the sounds of Bananarama, Dexter compares fingerprints in the lab. Jesse's soda can match the empty paint can. So he's like set on the fact that Jesse did all of this. Maybe his father was trying to frame him. Meanwhile, Quinn discovers that Tarla Grant was in fact a married mother of two, so they're kind of matching stuff up. There's like a bunch of coincidence with, Agent Lundy's side of the things, and yeah, he's right. He's like noticing a pattern. It's a mother of two, married mother of two. So yeah, he goes at that's like his targets. That's like his main victims. Depp has found a 30-year-old case that's identical to Tarla Grant's, and the family in that case never believed it was a suicide. So yeah, most of the time these cases go unsolved because the families are like, well, it's probably a suicide if she jumped from a high place, Deb and Anton head outside and interrupt Dexter's lunchtime solitude with Lundy right behind them, so they're kind of discussing the case together. It's very awkward. Dexter gets up quickly and leaves her with Lundy, and it's been very awkward tension throughout the season so far. Angel and LaGuerta find no one home at Nikki Wald's apartment, so this is like a completely different case, I think. This is the Johnny Rose thing, the vacation killer case, so yeah, there's like a shootout that ensues, no one dies or anything, but yeah. Dexter's crouched in the dark outside Andy and Jesse's house. He's trying to scare Jesse. A bunch of people are out on patrol, so like, yeah, he got like chased. He gets like chased around the neighborhood by the patrol guys because they catch him. Jesse's out there doing something bad, and Jesse runs away back into the house. And it turns out that this whole time Andy was the one doing all the vandalizing, which is really crazy considering, Jesse's attitude towards things. You kind of figured he would be the one doing all this. So he punches the security lights out and all that stuff. He's a serial killer. No one in the neighborhood necessarily knows that, but he doesn't want to be detected anywhere. The team's back at the warehouse where Masuka's pushing a cart full of dummies up to the top floor to simulate Tarla's jump. Masuka observes Deb looking at Lundy and for once doesn't have something pervy to say. It must be weird. Like, there's a normal conversation going on between Masuka and Deb. Must be weird for you, Lundy, coming back. Deb says, why would it be weird? You're weird, Masuka. None of my business, I know, but if I loved someone and that person was gone and then I moved on and found someone else and then the first person all of a sudden showed up again, I don't know, I've never had that problem, but it's got to be a little confusing. Maybe a little, so then maybe if you know that it's supposed to be weird and confusing, maybe it's a little easier to handle. So there's kind of an interesting conversation going on. Dexter and Lundy are waiting down below to watch the dummies fall. Dexter asks Lundy how many cycles Trinity's gone through. He says there's been 15 that he knows of, but there's a lot of stuff in the crime world that goes under radar, so like, who knows? A small wooden table holds a whiskey bottle, a pitcher of water, 2 glasses, and 2 framed black and white photographs, one of a young girl and the other of a happy couple. So yeah. Mitchell. Okay. Quinn is with Christine Hill at the police station. She wants to know about the vacation murder. She's obviously working with the press. She needs to know stuff. She has connections with Dan Quinn now, so yeah. Deb faces opposition when Masuka says the lab results show that Tarla was a jumper, and Quinn reveals that Tarla had been diagnosed with a small tumor, possibly a motive for suicide, so everything's kind of pointing at the fact that she killed herself, LaGuerta and Angel prepare for their debriefing on the shootout. They have to explain themselves. They have to give like a good excuse. Quinn walks into Dexter's lab and demands to know why he is rejecting all of his attempts to make things good. He wants to make things right. He's done some wrong things, and Dexter's just shoving him away. And Dexter says he honestly doesn't care, Deb drives Dexter home, and they sit in the car for a while talking, kind of like reminiscing, kind of talking about like the case that they're working on, all that stuff. So when Dexter walks to a quiet house where Cody makes a fort under the table, and he kind of has like a talk with them and all that stuff, you know. And Dexter apologizes to Aster, all that sort of stuff. Quinn is getting massaged by a topless Christine while bitching about Dexter. And he tells her his theory, and she's kind of learning more about that. She can put it in her news articles, and yeah, he's talking about Dexter behind his back. While at a bar, Lundy tells Deb that he's got evidence of Trinity in 8 different cities across the country, but this is the first time, as far as he knows, that Trinity's hit the same city twice, so there's kind of an interesting break in the case. They're kind of having like dinner together. It's not like a romantic thing, it's more for work, but Anton calls her, and it's kind of like an awkward moment. Dexter is set to break into Andy's house and scare the crap out of Jesse. You know, he gets in there, he realizes that Andy did it, so this is kind of like one of the major scenes in the end, you know. He's like, don't do this again. He learns that Andy is like about to lose his house, and that's kind of like his motive. Yeah. Back at home, Dexter walks onto his lawn, and the bright security light switch on again. Yeah, he smashed him. I don't know why I was talking about that earlier. I kind of have my storyline mixed up. That's going to do it, though. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Pretty good episode. I like how this show's going along. I don't really have much to say in terms of a review. It's just kind of a good storyline. I like the neighborhood thing, the suburban thing, you know, Dexter adjusting to it. I think that makes for pretty good television so far. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys have a good